Yes, we had seen a lot of action that happened on Friday in terms of commentary. Then we moved on and changed in terms of the stance of commentary. But what's the indication from the Asian markets? That's what we'll start with, right? What is the Hang Seng indicating? Hang Seng is indicating as of now a red start is what Hang Seng is seeing. Taiwan index is down 2% as well. Japan, though, is on a holiday, so keep an eye out on that. But other than that, ASX 200, that's the Australian index, that's also trading in the red. And Shanghai is also trading with cuts of almost 1%. So overall, the cues in the Asian market are on the negative footing today. Nifty implied open, that is also indicating a red start for the Indian markets. Now it's down 85 points in as of now in terms of Nifty implied open. But that's what we're watching out for in terms of the indication from the Asian markets. But like I was mentioning, there's a lot that's happened on the global market front as well. And how is that going to be impacting our Indian markets is going to be important to watch out for, right? So we're going to be setting you up for trade, and we have our team of research joining in with us for just that. So before I go to them, let me set you all up for today's market action that we're keeping an eye out on. And like I was talking about, there's a lot of commentary that came in from Trump, right? So because of that, on Friday, what we saw, that US markets first saw a very sharp fall coming in, because what Trump said that yes, maybe that US-China trade war, that's back on the forefront. That is what we're keeping an eye out on. Then again, we got commentary coming in yesterday where Trump said that don't worry about China, it will all be fine. So again, what we're seeing now in terms of US market, the stock futures, that's a rebound coming in after that, after Friday's fall in terms of trading session. Now for Indian markets, FIIs were buyers for the fourth straight session even on Friday. So that is something exciting that we're keeping an eye out on. Is that going to be continuing this week as well? Will be key to watch out for. FIIs were buyers of 459 crores. DIs were buyers of around 1,700 crores on Friday. Now, other than that, cues that we're keeping an eye out on. We have CPI data that will be coming out today. Keep an eye out on that. Vodafone Idea, that should be the one on your radar as well, because Supreme Court is going to be hearing Vodafone Idea's AGR dues. So that is something that we'll see a reaction to. Other than that, earnings reaction, right? Today, we'll have Anand Rathi Wealth, HCL Tech, Just Dial, which will be reporting their numbers. And companies that reported their numbers over the weekend or post-market hours on Friday, Avenue Supermart, Wari Renewables, are some of the ones that we'll be keeping an eye out on in terms of reaction. Do not forget, in Friday's trading session, Nifty gained for the second consecutive day. It closed near the 25,300 mark. So keep an eye out on that. As of now, a dull start is what we're watching out for in terms of the Nifty implied open. Like I mentioned, it's down almost 85 points. So will be key to watch out for whether this actually comes back to the green side, given the change in stance of commentary from Trump and a lot of earnings that are coming in as well. But let's move on and talk about other individual stocks that are going to be in focus in today's trading session. We have Gaurav for that. Good morning, Gaurav.
Well, let's talk about Phoenix Mills, because the business update has come for second quarter. Retail consumption, that is up almost by 13%, while on the other hand, gross residential sales was at 139 crores. Other than that, Signature Global, here also we saw second quarter's update. It was a bit weak because pre-sales that declined almost by 28%, while area sold by the company declined almost by 44% on a year-on-year basis. Even collections remained flat, up just by 2% on a year-on-year basis. Wari Renewables came up with the results. Now, we saw net profit almost doubled, almost to around 116 crores, and at the same time, margins also expanded to 20% versus what it was at 13.6%. DMart, on the other hand, came with inline set of numbers, we could say, because net profit that increased just by 3.9%, while margins that declined almost by 30 basis points. Let's also talk about CAMS, because board has now approved stock split in the ratio of 1:5. Hindustan Construction, this company recently won an order worth 204 crores. Mahindra Lifespace, now, two updates we have for the company. First is that company has acquired a land in Pune worth 3,500 crores, and they have also won a redevelopment project worth with a gross development value of more than 800 crores. Lastly, let's also not forget about Lupin, because US FDA concluded its inspection at one of the facilities in USA, and they concluded with one observation. And lastly, let's also talk about Axis Bank, because RBI has now issued a letter of caution, and this is because of the KYC norms. So definitely watching out on all these counters in a day ahead today.
Absolutely, Gaurav. Thank you so much for that. But what are we watching out for in the world of FNO today? Sudarshan is joining in with us for that. Good morning, Sudarshan.
Good morning, Vinny. So it was a week of short covering last week we have seen, but today it would be a test of water after the global cues that we are getting. It's largely it's a weak global cues after following Trump's tweets, then again tweets, and now today you're seeing all the Asian major indices are currently trading with cuts, and on the back of that, your GIFT Nifty is also indicating a start with cuts of almost 100 100 points. But if you take the cash flows on the both in the futures as well as in the cash market, FI is continue to be on the buy side. On Friday also, we have seen that FI is buying more than rupees 1700 crore. Also in the index futures too, they have bought more than rupees 815 crore. They have reduced short positions by almost 4,700 contracts. Now their long exposure has seen a minor increase to 8%. But look at the options data. The major action on the call side was seen in 25,450 and 25,200. Both these call options have seen an increase in the open interest and also at the same time an increase in the premium. On the put side, 25,300 put has seen maximum addition followed by 25,250. So for support for Nifty remains around 25,150 to 25,200. Resistance would be 25,350 to 25,450. As far as Nifty Bank is concerned, support would be 56,200 and resistance would be 57,000. One stock that remains in the band is RBL Bank. One stock had entered into the band is Sammaan Capital, and some of the stocks that had seen fresh longs in Friday's session were Divi's and Yes Bank, and one stock after earnings that has seen fresh short was Tata Elxsi.
Okay, Sudarshan, thank you so much for that. We'll keep an eye out on those stocks in the world of F&O as well.